it's now time for Sports Update. Stories from across the globe with Ebi Iyomon, who's here with us in Lagos. Good morning. How are you, Ebi?
I'm
Great to have you, Ebi.
Good morning.
In Lagos, live.
Live in Lagos.
Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Biniba. And good morning, Dr. Abati. Nice to see all three of you today. Well, we'll begin the show with a lot's happening in the world of sports. I will begin with Rodri, Manchester City's midfielder, their star midfielder, Rodri, who is going to be out for the remainder of the season due to knee injury, a tear of the anterior cruciate ligaments. This comes 5 days after he complained about match congestions for players and clubs as well as countries. For a total, he's played 50 games for club and 14 games for country this season, bringing it up to 64. It shows how much he's been featuring in games. And FIFPro says that a large margin of players who are complaining are the players who are featured in over 50 games, which is very detrimental to them. And City will definitely miss Rodri, as they have a 75% winning rate with him and losing 11% of the games he's not featured in. Last season, he was out for 5 games, and 4 of those games they lost where Rodri was not available. How City will maneuver that is going to be difficult, but this still comes back to the level of matches played by players day in, day out, as they battle playing matches a day or two interval. We'll see how that pans out for Rodri, but the Premier League is yet to make an official statement. Manchester City have already come out to say he has an ACL tear. And still talking of injuries, we had Barcelona goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen out for this season as well with a knee injury, the same injury he had where he did a surgery. He's going to be out again for about 8 to 9 months, and Barcelona will be needing probably a new goalkeeper. This still boils down to the number of games played for players, and it's just being tedious for them. We'll see how that what pans out for Barcelona as well. And away from football, we have Anthony Joshua coming out to say that he is not yet over. His career is not yet over. This follows his knockout loss to Dubois over the course of the weekend. He got knocked out in the 5th round. He was floored 4 times, and the battle just came out, and fans said that he has to retire, but he is saying that his career is not far from over. Let's listen to what he had to say on X. So it was a very important fight for Joshua. Joshua will be hoping to do better. He says that this was a chance to get his 3rd World Championship, and he could not get that with the IBF. And as of now, he will be hoping to get a better fight, but for Joshua, it's not looking so good. But he has a belief that he can get something different from what he has done in the past few games. And away from that, we have the Nigerian women under 19 getting a win against Zimbabwe. And this makes them close.
Hey, your face.
This makes them closer to the World Cup, as they just need 1 win, and this win will come against Malawi. If they get a victory against Malawi, it means they are off to the Under-19 Women's World Cup. It's been a good run for them in the qualifiers, as they defeated Tanzania in their first game. With these 2 victories, just 1 win against Malawi, and they are off to the World Cup. And finally, for me, we have Nadal included in the Spain squad for Davis Cup. And we know that Nadal has been battling injuries for a very long time now. He's going to be joined by Carlos Alcaraz, Roberto Agut. We'll have Carreno, Marcelo in this particular squad. But he has not been fit. In every tournament he's participated in, he's not gone beyond the quarterfinals this year. He missed the Australian Open, he missed the Wimbledon to contest in the Olympics, and that did not go well for him. But the last time he played in a Davis Cup, they won, and that was in 2019. He's far from what he was in 2019, but I think the fans will just want to see Nadal in action once more. But that's all from me on sports today.
I mean, yeah, it's been the beginning of the end, pretty much, we can say, for Nadal, but I like the way he's taking it. He's still pushing himself as much as his body can carry. I mean, a lot of people thought that, after the Roland Garros exit was going to be it, but we saw how he came in great fashion, trying to still eke his way through. And I think he's still going to be doing that for a while, as long as his body can carry, but we know the body's really tearing out. And as regards Barcelona, I think the strain is quite a lot.
Is players injured?
Yeah. the strain is quite a lot, and, the duplicity of games and the multiple games, and also, and this is a clarion call on FIFA and the calendar, especially with, I've not been able to decipher this new Champions League modeling, but it looks like comparatively, it's going to be more intense games, and, there's a lot more pain on the players, the depreciation rate is a lot. Footballers are playing more games now than ever before.
If I to put it into context, right, you look at the Arsenal and City game. If Kevin De Bruyne or Odegaard were in that game, the level of football would have been a lot higher. And now for most players who have had the ACL injury, you look at Pedri, you look at Gavi.
Yeah.
In 2021, Pedri played almost every game with Barcelona. He went to the Euros. He was 20 at that time. He played in the Euros and went to the Olympics. After the Olympics, he got the injury. Same with Gavi. Now you have Rodri. So it shows that these players are going through a lot. Some players might benefit from this, especially fringe players, but it may just drop the level of football. Imagine watching a Champions League game and you see the second 11 of a team playing.
But the wear and tear is there. And so I also look at the fact that UEFA has now brought in the Nations League, which is a league system and lots of games. I think it's something they should be able to look at. But I'm really very happy, AB, this morning that Nigeria beat Zimbabwe in that cricket game.
I celebrate with my Nigerian side.
Really?
You know what? I love the game of cricket.
Yeah.
I really do. And I've always asked why cricket hasn't gained more momentum or popularity here in Nigeria. Well, I then attended a cricket tournament that took place here, and I understood why. I mean, under the hot sun, it's a long game. You know, you can play for 2-3 days and so forth. So I did understand that, maybe weather conditions may not really be conducive for cricket to flourish as it should. But, you look at countries like India, Sri Lanka, and, cricket has a stronghold, especially in the Asian countries. In Southern Africa as well, it's a very popular game. So for me, I'm excited about this victory because I would love to see more cricket being played here in Nigeria and, with the women as well, no less. So I think that's fantastic. But I think it's a sport that has a lot of potential. And very lastly, with Anthony Joshua, yesterday Aaron did an analysis of his footwork and his style. So I think it's great to hear that he's saying that it's not over for him. However, I would like to see him going back to the drawing board and maybe doing a little bit of work on the stylistic side of his fight.
We're talking about injury. Rodri, we're told, is likely to be out for the remainder of the season. One of the most influential City players, one of those listed to probably win the Ballon d'Or by next year, but that may not happen. As in every other game, you never know what happens, the X factor. But that is a distinguished player, is not in doubt. Still talking about injury, Emma Raducanu is out of the Beijing Open. The draws were listed on Monday, but she was at the Korea Open, and then, this injury occurred, and she says, well, she won't be part of the Beijing Open, having lost out in the quarterfinals in the Korea Open. Talking about Korea, North Korea won the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup tournament in Bogota, Colombia, beating Japan 1-0. And in that regard, North Korea is now with the greats in that tournament's history. Germany, and the United States, who had won it 3 times. This is the 3rd time that North Korea will be winning. And this is remarkable, considering the fact that North Korea has been out of that, global championship space since 2018. Others may not be happy, given the political record of North Korea. But the girls, were very good. One of them, they won the Golden Boot Award with 6 goals in the tournament and the Golden Boot and all of that. And then Everton takeover. The Friedkin Group has finally reached an agreement to buy Everton, obtain 94.6% stake in Everton. And, they're also saying they will complete the new stadium that Everton wants to build. But would that translate into better performance on the part of Everton or not? We'll see. Thank you very much indeed. AB Yomo, good to see you in Lagos. Please spend a few more days with us in the Lagos
See me
studio.
tomorrow.